r/ask Reddit. What is currently happening that is scaring you? The aging of my parents. It's like one day I just woke up and realized they were more than halfway through their lives. I keep wanting to reset their clocks. I am the aging parent now, and I'd say don't be afraid. You're an extension of them, and as much as you care for them, their focus is probably on your well-being and happiness. Needed to hear this. My father is ill and my mother is beginning to show signs of decline that I really wish I could ignore. So fortunate to have had them in my life this long, but can't imagine a world without either one. I guess life never asks if you're ready. My suggestion, while you still have them, is to begin conversations, interviews if you will, about their lives. It's amazing what you will learn. Talk to them together, and then separately. I did this with my parents over a 5-year period. We lived a 3-hour plane trip distance. I did it through face-to-face when I was visiting, supplemented by many long phone calls. They lived long, satisfying lives and died 6 months apart. Dad first at 95, mom at 89. I am now their living oracle. Nothing left unsaid or unknown. Yep. My dad passed last Wednesday. I took it pretty hard, despite knowing it was coming, due to his age and couple health issues. Now I'm at the point where I don't believe he's gone, and have come to my own realization that I don't want to get old. I just don't. From the 65-year-old, no THST research shows that this is the most happy time of life. I lift weights, race walk 4 miles at ESY and SM healthy and strong. It is a privilege growing old and I love my life. Orgasms have never been better. Nothing at all to fear, especially if you take care of yourself. How easily I went from couple of drinks after work to sitting at a bar replying to a Reddit thread 5 hours after work. I feel you, man. I was like this too. It gets worse if you let it go out of control. The problem is figuring out a way to not let it get out of control. My son, who turned 18 last week, is making the most horrible life decisions. He's going to wind up in jail or dead. I'm so scared for him and of him. My ex-wife's brother went down that road. His friend group was abysmal. Made awful choices with drugs. Knew him for 9 years, almost 10. From 18 to 21 he went straight downhill, and his parents tried to pray it out of him instead of seeking professional help. A year after her and I divorced, his father found him dead of an overdose in his bedroom. Sometimes I wish I had tried harder to be there to help him. I tried to talk him into the military or anything to get him away from that shit group of people. He just wouldn't bite. RIP buddy. Laid off a few months ago. Severance ends soon and I keep getting rejected on new prospects. Trying to get into new roles since my experience is a bit niche and I've exhausted those options. I feel like a failure and don't know what I'll do if I can't find something soon. Month 7. Checking in. Right there with you. Hundreds of resumes out the door, and I'm doing it in a brand new state with 2 kids in tow. Hope you hang in there. I know precisely how tough it can be. It sucks, and that's an understatement. You disappear into some kind of emotionless purgatory of suffering after a certain point. I have terminal cancer. I don't want to die. Lost my mum to breast cancer 2 years ago after 5 years of fighting a disease that should have killed her in under 2. Her motto was don't stop. Set a goal that you can complete in a couple of months. Hit that goal and have another waiting. Do all the shit you need to do and smash your bucket list. Don't let it get a hold over you. It is your body. You own it. Do all the things. Death comes for us all. But that doesn't mean you have to lay down and take it. Get out there and fight. Godspeed, you shitty monkey. May you fling poo for years to come. A recent medical test showed I have high levels of arsenic in my body. Yet it's not in my water, nor has it been since I've lived in my current location. Do you eat rice? Arsenic is highly water soluble and rice paddies in some areas are notorious for poisoning via absorption from irrigation. I believe it's brown rice specifically. So if OP is eating brown rice more than 2-3 times a week, it could be contributing to his arsenic levels. My friend is being physically abused but is trying to reconcile and stay with the abuser. I struggle when I see my friends in relationships with abusive people, and from the outside it can seem so easy to just leave. It makes you question their sanity. How can they stay with a person they so obviously know is bad for them? but being on the other side of it as well. You don't realize how bad it actually is till you're out. You justify their behavior or they gaslight you into believing what they're doing is reasonable. It might be hard, but you should probably emotionally separate yourself from the situation. Of course, provide your friend whatever support they need, but don't become so wrapped up in it that it overshadows your own life. Step in only if there's an emergency. I'm speaking from experience. Too often I get so emotionally invested in my friends' struggles, particularly in regard to abusive relationships, unfortunately, that I become overwhelmed and stop taking care of myself. Much love to you and your friend. This is good advice. To that, don't get wrapped up in it, but never drop that friend. That's what the abuser wants you to do. Less dissenting voices, more isolation for their partner equals more control for them. You don't have to actively get involved in their arguments. You don't have to offer unsolicited advice. But you know that's not right and, well, I'm always here for you, can make a world of difference to the abused. The total disregard for the truth, tolerance for gaslighting. It's pretty disturbing. Related, that you can go your whole life without having to challenge your opinions because there will always be someone telling you you're right and clever for thinking the way you do. I've been out of work for about a year with back issues and I'm damn near broke. Like, really broke, as in maybe homeless at my advanced age. Back problems have spiked in America in the last few decades and the medical community has no idea why back problems have suddenly become so prevalent. The worst part is no doctor knows how to effectively treat back problems and there are hardly any consensus on effective treatment. Join us at r/backpain and welcome to the club. People spend more time sitting now than ever before. Programmer here, who had to have a crushed disc removed between my L3 and L4. I am older, but there are many colleagues much younger who have back issues. Turning 30 soon. Time feels like it has sped up since high school. I blink and the years seem to fly by. Makes me contemplate life and what I should spend my time and focus on. Squeezing the most out of things while I still have my youth. I feel like I'm going to blink again and be turning 50. Yep, that's how it goes. I just turned 30 about a year or two ago and now I'm 38. 32 here and my daughter is due in September, our first child. I feel this time warp effect already and it weighs on my mind like some kind of weird FOMO. How bad is time going to warp once most of my time outside of work will now be put towards the development and care of my child instead of pursuing my bucket list? Don't get me wrong. I am thrilled and excited to be a father. No resentment. I do think this will make the time warp worse, though. My mom getting older and not remembering things but being antagonistic over any attempts for me or my relatives to help. The antagonism is generally them not wanting to accept that they're losing control. There's not too much you can really do about it unfortunately, however tact and putting yourself in their shoes goes a long way. The worst part, best part depending on your outlook, about dementia or Alzheimer's is that it's not the sufferer who goes through the most pain. Marizo the loved ones around them who suffer the most. There's a flying cockroach in my room that I have no clue where it went. I might die at it. Bro, what happened overnight? No worries, the bastard escaped through my window. Dear God, that's the worst. Sending you strength to vanquish the beast when he returns. Yeah, I'd probably just move cities. The fact that my world feels like it's getting flipped upside down no matter what way I turn. And the fact that the person I was supposed to spend my life with, my kid's father, isn't in love with me anymore. Me too. My wife moved out. I miss her so much but she said she didn't love me. I didn't know that trying to fall out of love would hurt so much. Me scrolling through Reddit when my panicked mind is forever trapped in a lazy, procrastinating body. Anxiety will make you feel crippled. It was my reality for years and I suspect using the word lazy to describe it isn't going to help you at all. Do small things daily. Try and get a routine. Just the minimal. Shower/brush teeth if you feel that's hard enough to do. Doing nothing. With no motivation whatsoever. And that I know will duck me over in the future. I hate that I'm like this, but can't seem to put in the effort to change it. It's a terrible cycle. No motivation, anxiety about future, depression, wanting to change, no motivation. How fast the time is passing. I'm only 21. so I shouldn't complain. But everyone around me is graduating from college, uni, and is getting somewhere with their lives. And here I am, not graduated, and not even studying what I want as a career. I'm 35 and have worked for the same company for 17 years now, and I still don't think I know what I want to be when I grow up. 35 and 13 years at my company. I, too, am unsure of what I want to be when I grow up. Daily existential crises are great. Just asked a girl out. She said yes. I had not gotten this far before, and I am spooked. That homeless people in my town are being found with their limbs cut off behind a clothing store. That is terrifying. My past comes back to me and it sucks. Yeah, gets me when I try to sleep or when I get in the shower in the morning. I shouldn't care. Past is past, but I just can't shake it sometimes. I am learning to not regret my past. But some days it feels like the perfect storm. All my negative feelings have aligned and I think of something from my past and it's like a shot to my heart. My job is evaporating. Being moved offshore to India. At 56 I don't relish the thought of starting over. China is getting more and more power internationally, and their government has shown time and again that it does not give a solitary duck about anyone or anything except its own power/profit. Yeah man, I live in China and it's ducking terrifying. It seems so normal, but there is this deep dark undercurrent that is just rotting away your life and of those around you. Can't wait to leave in a few weeks. I will have an experimental brain surgery soon. I led an active life, traveling, dating, fitness, before I got mysteriously ill last year. My health is getting worse despite all the medications and at-home infusions I do. My doctor is like house. He has great outcomes and is leader in complex diseases. I am still very financially and physically independent in my day-to-day despite some physical limitations. My boyfriend and I just had a breakup last weekend. We fought about whether he could be there for the surgery. It's 10 days in NY and he works in Mountain View for a tech company. He said I need to understand that he derives a lot of self-worth and validation from his career, and that I'm basically asking him to quit his job if he has to show up to the surgery. He used to say that my illness brought us closer together and that's why he fell in love with me. After almost 3 years together, he stopped showing up when he said he would, so I had to end it. I relied a lot on him for emotional support. I stopped talking to my family a few years ago due to a lifetime of abuse and trauma. I have friends and asked them for support, but I get scared of becoming a burden for anyone. Asking for help is more scary than the surgery itself. I'm scared of a lot of things. Asking for help when I need it, my health worsening and becoming bedbound, and settling romantically for someone because I'm damaged. I'm playing Resident Evil 7 for the first time and jumping like a scared little kid. My wife sure is enjoying this. Too much. Play it in VR at night by yourself. The amount of influence social media has on teenagers. Just teenagers? I recently discovered that I am paranoid, and the open person that I am. Told my friend about it, but after I told my friend about that, they all stopped talking to me, ignored me, or act like I don't exist. Because of this my depression peaked and have been absent from work for a week, thinking that everyone hates me. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.